Hey guys, Jed from the Rehab-Based PT here, and welcome back to our series of 100 clinical tests with 100 solutions in 100 days. We're on day 4, and we've got a test and a solution for those of you who suffer from low back pain after standing for long periods of time. Let's get after it. So we're going to jump straight into the test. We're going to test the endurance of our oblique muscles, which are essentially our side abs. We're going to do it using a side bridge test or a side plank test, and we're going to time how long we can do either side, and we've got some normative data we need to aim for. Females need to hit roughly 70 seconds each side, and males need to hit roughly 90 seconds each side. Why is the oblique muscle important? Well, a study came out and 24 people who had no back pain at rest. They put these 24 people into a confined workspace where they had to stand for 2 hours to mimic standing jobs, and 17 of them developed low back pain within that 2-hour period. And the 17 that developed low back pain within that 2-hour period, on average, timed 34.5 seconds less than those who did not develop back pain in this test. So things to keep in mind when we're doing this test. We want to make sure our shoulder is in a nice stable position, and we do that before we raise ourselves by making sure our shoulder and elbow are in alignment, and we want to think about pulling our shoulder blade of that side down into our back pocket, okay? Sweet. So from there as well, what we want is we can have the top leg can actually be slightly in front to provide stability down towards the distal end of our body, okay? So what we want to do then, once we've got that shoulder blade, shoulder stacked over the elbow, shoulder blade in the back pocket, top leg slightly in front for balance, we're going to raise ourselves up so we have a nice neutral alignment here, okay? So we don't want to be dipped, we don't want to be overarched, we want to be nice and neutral, and we want our head pointing forward. And then what we want to think about is there's a plumb line in our ear hole, through our shoulder, through our hip bone, through our ankle, okay? And that keeps us nice and stable. And then we're going to start the timer. So you can put a timer here in front of you. And again, females 70 seconds, males 90 seconds. And what you want to do is turn the timer off when your hip starts to dip. So you need to be honest with yourself. You need to maintain that neutral alignment, okay? And if it starts to dip, you've got to stop the timer. And obviously, if you can't do it, then you've got to stop the timer. So the most obvious way you're going to tell that the oblique muscle isn't fulfilling its role in the system when you've been standing for long periods of time and maybe causing your back pain is that you're not going to hit 70 seconds each side as a female, or you're not going to hit 90 seconds each side as a male. But another thing to keep in mind is, let's say you hit 70 seconds on one side as a female, or 90 seconds on one side as a male, or even 60, 80, okay? But you then go to the other side and you can only hit 20 or 30 seconds, then that is a big difference side to side. Now the body is asymmetrical by design, but we like asymmetries to be within 10%. So again, if you hit 30 seconds on one side and 60 seconds on another side, that is well beyond that 10% difference, and that could also be a driver of your back pain because we have a huge imbalance in the core's ability to stabilize. Sweet, so now we've found a potential cause of your low back pain when standing for long periods of time. Now we're going to get after a solution. Unfortunately, the best solution for this is to perform the test that we just did, but as a workout. So just performing a timed side bridge. What you'd want to do is 3 sets on each side for a time period of time, and do that every day. And then every week you want to add 5 seconds. Let's say you tested 40 seconds on each side. The best thing to do is to probably minus 20 to 30 seconds off your time score to apply that to our 3 working sets. So if I tested 40 seconds on each side, I might start at 20 seconds for 3 sets on each side every day and add 5 seconds each week until, as a female, if you can do for 3 working sets back to back with no rest, 45-second holds, you're more than likely going to smash the 70-second time hold. If you're a male, you want to be able to probably do 3 sets, working sets, back to back with no rest of around 70 seconds each side. And again, you will probably then more than likely smash that 90-second one-off timed hold. Now, for those of you who hate side planks, I've got an alternative that might be a sexier solution than just doing a side bridge. So let's get to that. Now, side bridges make you want to blow your brains out. I've got an alternative exercise, the unilateral farmer carry. So we're going to load up one hand with weight, and that can be a dumbbell or a kettlebell. And then during this entire movement, what we want to think about is keeping our shoulders in alignment and our pelvis in alignment so that we're not doing this. Now, how this works, the oblique muscle, is that the oblique on this side is stopping our body from doing that. Okay? So what we're going to do, while engaging our core, we're going to keep our pelvis stable. We're going to have a normal width of our feet that we use when walking, and we're going to keep everything even, engage our core, and we are then going to begin to walk without letting the weight dictate where our pelvis goes. So nice and stable, and I'm walking, okay? You're gonna walk for a certain distance. Try and do the length of the gym, wherever the lengthiest part in your gym is. 20 meters is good. And then when we get to one side, you can then put the dumbbell into the midline so that you're turning with a nice even distribution. And then load up the other side and begin your walk again. And when it comes to progressing our unilateral farmer carry, what we'd like to do is maybe 3 sets of the distance, anywhere from 20 to 40 meters. Obviously, the shorter the distance, you may want to add more load in one side because it's a shorter distance, so we want to increase the intensity over that shorter distance. If we're going for a longer distance, then what we want to do is maybe have a slightly lighter load. Either way, whatever distance you pick, try and keep that the same each week. And then each week we want to incrementally try to add weight to the side that we're holding, and anywhere from 1 to 2.5 kilos each week is a pretty safe increase in our weight. So to recap, we've got our 2 options to go after our oblique muscles. We've got our timed side bridge, 3 sets each side. The benefits of that are that there's no equipment required, you can do it anywhere. Or we've got our unilateral farmer carry. So if you are someone who regularly exercises, or you have access to a gym or access to weights, then that might be a more fun alternative than the side bridge. But either way, we just want to incrementally increase the load each week, 5 seconds each side if you're doing the timed side plank, and 1 to 2.5 kilos of the weight on the side that you're loading if you're doing the farmer carries. Go and get after it.